Hello everyone, in this video I'd like to show you how to select a mutual fund in about 30 minutes or even less, or in other words how to use the freefincal mutual fund screener version 5. Now I found some bugs after I posted the fifth version yesterday, so I suggest you please re-download the file either from the link in today's post or yesterday's post. So the first step in mutual fund selection is to understand what the goal is, what is the need of the goal, what is the kind of instruments that will be suitable for the goals. For some goals, mutual funds are not needed, may not be even suitable. So, are mutual funds necessary for the goal? That's the question you should ask. And if you think they are, and then you must ask what is the asset allocation for the goal? How much of it will you put in equity? How much of it will you put in fixed income or any other asset class that you want? And then when you want to choose the equity portion of the portfolio, you will have to ask yourself what is the portfolio contents. Let's say I'm going to choose one large cap fund and one mid cap fund. Then the next step is, so you have to choose the category. So you've decided on the categories and then you have to choose one fund from each category. So let's say we're going to choose a large cap fund. So we choose that. And then there's a 15 here which is the reference rank, or you're going to look for funds in the top 15. Top in terms of what? I will explain to you in a moment. So I'm going to have to click this to get the annual returns from Value Research Online. But before doing this, you will have to log into Value Research Online. You have to have an account, otherwise this Excel sheet will not work. There are steps outlined in the post for this login procedure. So this has already been done. So I'm just going to go ahead and download the annual returns. It's going to take about 15 to 20 seconds or so, depending on your RAM. And once it's done, it's going to take you to a sheet called the Shortlist. And in this sheet, let's say I choose any one to highlight. Invesco India Business Leaders Fund has, over the past 6 years of its existence, has always been in the top 15 when 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year and 6 year CAGRs are considered. And similarly, Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity Fund has been in the top 15 for 92% of the times when 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, up to 12 year CAGRs are considered. So this the screener chooses the top 15 in this category. There may be other funds which are outside this sometimes, but it chooses the top fund in this category, and it goes ahead and goes to the next step, which is shortlisting as per category average. Now, in this case, if I look at Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity, it has always been above the category average when 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, up to 12 year CAGRs are considered individually. So the 1 year return of Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity is above the 1 year category average. Same with second year, same with third year, same up to 12 years. So that's 100% consistency record. So a lot of funds here, but the program only selects the top 16. So some funds which have got 100% record but are outside this may be left out. So that's you can't do anything about it. Of course, I could have a button for selecting top 15 or top 20 or top 10, where I can do that maybe in the next version. So there are now two shortlists. Shortlist sheet gives you the shortlist as per return rank, and the shortlist category average gives you the shortlist as per returns above the category average. So there are 15 funds in each shortlist. Then if you go to the evaluate section, the funds listed here are the funds which are common in both those shortlists. So you have a much smaller sample set to work with. Now this will be your shortlist. So there are some very nice funds here, some unknown funds, for example, Invesco India Growth Fund, JM India Equity Fund, JP Morgan. JP Morgan will soon be exiting. Then there are very new funds like Motilal Oswal Focus 25. It's up to you what you choose. Um, there's quantum long-term equity. So you can choose a new fund and say, I would like to choose this and let's see how it goes. Or you can choose an old performer, consistent performer, and say, this has got a good track record, I'm going to go with that. It's up to you. Then you have the indices, the 1 to 12 year CAGR of several indices. So you can choose the one which is relevant for the category. And you can graphically evaluate also. The average here represents the average of, sorry for going back and forth, the average of these funds, the 1 to 12 year averages of these funds. So those are the averages. And you can, excuse me, you can choose a relevant index. Nifty will work for large cap, or you can also choose BSE 100 if you like, or the Sensex if you like. It doesn't matter what you choose. You can choose anything you like. Then you can now go here and choose just one fund and see what happens. Sometimes this may be filled with errors because of a previous choice you made. You can just, when you choose the new fund, it will go away. So that's Franklin India Blue Chip. You can see how well it has done over all these years. So that's a very good track record. Now, if I like that, I'll just go with it. That's all. I won't overthink the problem. Sometimes the first thing that I choose, that'll be fine. Just go with it. That's all. Don't think too much, because you're not going to choose one perfect fund. This is not like looking for a bride or a groom. You're not going to look for the perfect person here. This is just a fund with a decent track record, past performance. No one knows how these funds are going to perform in future. So you're not going to get married to the fund. You're only going to choose it, and you're going to keep an eye. If you don't like what's happening, if you don't like the performance, chuck it ruthlessly and choose another fund. Nothing's going to happen. Chuck it ruthlessly. If you keep investing in the hope everything will be all right, then it's a problem. So at this stage, I think you have got enough to make a shortlist. I would suggest stop right here. Make a choice and leave it at this. But if you want, there are many readers who don't like this kind of, they think it's a bit vague. But if you want more analysis, then you can look at annual returns. These are the annual returns instead of the CAGRs, and then you can choose the annual return of the index, any index that you want, let's say BSE 100 again. And then you can look at the annual returns of Franklin India Blue Chip or any other fund and look at how they compare with the annual returns of the index and find out if the index has fallen, how much has the fund fallen, less or more or so on. It's a very crude way to do it. It's annual return, so it's not much of detail here, but if you want to, you can have a look at it. It's up to you. If you are not able to decide by this stage, you can either look at the downside protection calculator I keep talking about, or you can look at the rolling return sheet, which I will show you now. There's one more fund here, Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity. I'll show you that. So I'm going to show you the rolling returns calculator. I've already set it up for Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity. I just chose it by random. I'm not invested in this fund. So you can just type Birla Sun Life F here, and if you use the drop down, you'll see it. Please always use the growth option and always choose regular plans. Do not use direct plans because the direct plans have only a 3.5 year history. Please always use regular and growth option only. Now you need to know the benchmark. So you can head over to value research. This is the fund page. If you go down in the main snapshot, you will see the benchmark. This is BSE 200. Now for certain funds, for certain indices, we have the facility in this sheet to use the total return index. Total return index means the dividends from that index are assumed to be reinvested. So it will be a much higher value. So it will be tougher to beat. So we are going to use BSE total return index instead of BSE 200 for Birla Sun Life and evaluate it. So the next step would be to click to download now and click to download index data. After this is done, you have to do this. I've already done that. So this will take about 20 seconds each or so. And then you're going to choose over what rolling return period that you're going to evaluate the fund. I'll explain to you what rolling return means in a moment. I'm going to choose 5 years. So 5 years means 1825 days. So I'm going to choose 1825 days here. I'm going to enter it here. You can enter whatever number you want. And the return history is from 3rd April 2006. You don't get NAV history before that, but it's pretty good because there are more than 10 years of NAV history available, which is I think more than sufficient. So that's about it. And if you do these clickings, if you click 4, it will come back to the sheet. Then you will click on 5, it will take you straight to the rolling returns. Now, there are about 1100 to 1200 data points in each of those curves. And each data point represents a 5-year CAGR. So the CAGR duration has been rolled over. Let's say January 1st, 2000 to December 31st, 2005, and then January 2nd, 2000 to 1st January 2006, and so on. So the 5-year window has been rolled over, and this is all automatically done. And you can immediately see that Birla Sun Life has done a very good job of beating the total return index. The fund itself is benchmarked only to the price index, that is the BSE 200. But even if you use the total returns index, the fund has done very well. It has consistently bet the total returns index. And if you look at, that's a visual representation. If you go to the analysis sheet, you'll get a little more data. So it has bet the index 81% of the time. That is very good. I would be, if I were you, I will be more than happy and just invest in this one. This is not a recommendation. This is just a random selection from that shortlist. I am not invested in this fund, but I'm just saying that's it. You can just go with that. So from that shortlist where you had, if you go back to the sheet, if you go back to the evaluate sheet and just go a little bit back here. Now in this, you can choose any of the funds here. There are about 6, 7, 8, 10 funds here. That's a big shortlist. It's not probably as so big as necessary, but you can just some funds, for example, I may not trust certain fund houses, Invesco, JP Morgan. I may not trust them. Reliance, R shares, but that's an ETF, so I don't want all that. I don't want all that. So I can choose either a Birla or a Franklin or a ICICI or a Motilal or a Quantum. I can choose one of the AMC and see how the fund goes. And if I like that, 86%, 82% outperformance on rolling basis, it's fantastic. Go ahead and blindly choose it. That's all it will take. So if all you need is confidence, if you have the confidence to pick one from the shortlist, you can do that. If at this stage, when you have those 5 or 6 funds staring at you and you're not able to decide within the next 10 to 15 minutes using some form of analysis, if you are not able to decide, please seek professional help from FE only SEBI registered investment advisor. Do not seek free lunch. Do not get random advice. Get professional advice. Otherwise, you have to do it on your own. The choice is yours. Catch you again later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.